Ooh, welcome to Taz Talk, ladies and gentlemen. Today is... I don't know the day anymore. September the 10th, 2025. We're going to be talking about NXT results because we got interesting matches that's going to happen at the NXT Homecoming show that's happening next week. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a whole bunch of these black and gold old era NXT stars, and we got some people that was in the NXT 2.0 era. We heard that Opal Femi and Ricky Sainz will be special guests of the Grayson Waller Effect. The only segment that we know and that happened was DIY and Trick Mellow Gang. Why did I say that? DIY came out and they had some things to say because they remember what happened last week. And when they said Trick Williams' name, Trick Williams showed up. But Trick says he didn't come alone. Carmella Hayes came out. Remember, they had history. Carmella Hayes says, you need to give these guys some respect, man. They're the OGs of NXT and all that stuff. But DIY made fun of Trick Mellow Gang by saying who's the big brother, who's the little brother, and all that stuff. Because they were trying to hash things out between Carmel Hayes and Trick Williams. So, DIY issue a big tag team match. Trick Mellow Gang versus DIY next week at Homecoming. We have a lot of people happening. We found out who's going to be facing Ethan Page for the North American title. And Fatal Influence will have a match at Homecoming. I thought it was going to be Mandy Rose and Gigi Dolan. Imagine that. Toxic Attraction versus Fatal Influence. And they find a third. They don't work there anymore. They don't even work for TNA, so I don't know if they will show up. Well, first match, this match didn't even get started in the ring. It got started outside the ring because Javon Evans cut the bit Joseph off, and he wants to fight Josh Briggs now. So Josh Briggs came in, Javon did his flying moves, jumping over the top rope outside the ring. Ava was yelling at them to get in the ring to start the match, and these guys were just brawling. But the winner of that match was Josh Briggs, because of the help of a chair, distraction, and he hit him with a chain. Back of the head. Josh Briggs gets the win. And then we have Laney Reed versus Fabi from AAA in the Speed Championship Tournament. And Natalya was there because we heard that at Worlds Collide, Natalya will be going against Fabi for a number contendership to the let's just say the AAA Women's Championship, the number contendership to the title at Worlds Collide. So Natalya, when the time was almost about to be ended, Natalya distracted Fabi, and Fabi lost. Laney Reid gets the win and heads to the tournament. Advances to the next round. We have Dark State defending the tag team titles against Hank and Tank. It was a pretty decent match. Hank and Tank almost won the match in seconds. They did their finisher, their tag team finisher, but it didn't work out because they kicked out. And, of course, they had to find a way to put Joe Hendry in this. So that other guy that was choking Hank last week, and he called Joe Hendry, he choked him again, but this time they were near the balcony, where everybody put somebody through a wall. So he says, there's no Joe Hendry to save you now. And he said his name, and he appeared. Joe Hendry appeared, and he broke the wall, and he tried to stop the Dark State, but one of the Dark State members runs in the ring, and Mr. Joe Hendry ran in the ring. Distraction, and Dark State gets the win. And retains the tag team titles. Hank and Tank might be angry at Joe Hendry because he screwed that up. Next match, we have Tavian Heights versus Ethan Page in a flag match. Not a big fan of this flag match because I already know who's going to win because they are in the United States. So I already know who's going to win. It was a pretty decent match. It was pretty good. But the winner of that match was Tavian Heights. He flagged the United States. Yes, I'm a little upset because I'm Canadian. And then he put the Canadian flag on top of the body of Ethan Page. And then out of nowhere, Tyler Breeze shows up in his ring gear and a selfie stick. Do they even do selfie sticks anymore in this dang world? I don't know. He got in the ring and he had a selfie or a video. It looks like a video with Ethan Page down on the ground with the Canadian flag on him. And we heard that it's official. Next week at Full Sail, it will be Ethan Page defending his North American title against Tyler Breeze. The man returns and he's having a match. I'm hoping he stays on NXT. And I hope this is not one night only. It feels like it is because it's just homecoming. A whole bunch of old school NXT guys are showing up. But Tyler Breeze, this was his first gimmick in the WWE, and he did not change. Like, when he had his hair in a ponytail and blonde and that coats he wears and the pants, the guy didn't look like he changed at all. He looks like the same 2015 Tyler Breeze. So that's interesting to see. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we got the calling will be versus Saruka and Zarya versus Fatal Influence, Miss Jasmine Nix, and Paula Hanley in a triple threat elimination match. And whoever wins this, they will be a knowing contender to the women's tag team titles. I think it's supposed to happen at Homecoming. I don't know. They had a video package of the Homecoming, and they showed Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, and no challengers, because this was the main event. The video package happened before the main event. It was a pretty decent main event. I enjoyed it. It was good. It was all over the place, high-flying, crazy stuff. So Ruka accidentally got herself eliminated because she did a soul snatcher onto Zarya, and Zarya got pinned and they lost. And ladies and gentlemen, I thought Fatal Influence might win this, but the winner of that match was the calling, getting the win, and JC Jane in the ring yelling at her teammates. And then we went to commercial break, but before we get to commercial break, we had 3 cars in the parking lots. And we're going to find out who they are. So JC Jane, after commercial break, she was yelling at Paula Hanley and Jasmine Nix, saying she doesn't need them and all that stuff. She's saying she's the best NXT Women's Champion. She says she held both TNA Knockouts Championship and the NXT Women's Championship. She kind of had help with both the titles. And then Stephanie McCurr makes a surprise in return, and she says she did the same thing, but she did it by herself. And she says at WrestlePalooza, she's going to win the Women's World title next. And then, ladies and gentlemen, JC Jane says, there's 3 of us and there's 1 of you, and Stephanie asks JC Jane, what time is it? It's Tiffy time. Tiffany Stratton comes out. And she told JC Jane, I'm the WWE Women's Champion. And she held the NXT Women's Championship as well. And then they called, JC Jane called them high school graduates. And Tiffany says, I don't think Mommy will like to be calling that, because Rhea Ripley made a return as well. And Rhea Ripley says, you want to be at Homecoming? There's 3 of us and there's 3 of you. We're going to have a 6-women tag team match at Homecoming next week. And then we had a brawl between the old school NXT versus, it's not really new school, because Paula Hanley and JC Jane and Jasmine Nix been there for a couple years now. It's not really new school, but you know what I mean. New school versus old school. They had a brawl. The old school was standing tall, but let's see what happens at Homecoming. Rhea Ripley, I guess they could all work together because they're all baby faces. Between Rhea Ripley, Tiffany Stratton, and Stephanie McCurr. I think Stephanie and Rhea Ripley could work very well. Can Tiffany Stratton work very well? But they said there's still more surprises during the Homecoming show. So maybe we get to see some of the old school NXT stars that's on TNA, like Eric Young, or I don't know who else. I don't think Joe Hendry would be on there. I don't think Joe Hendry would be on there. I don't know if we're going to get any of those newcomer from TNA that never showed up on NXT before will be there. But I think we will get to see some people that showed up the last couple months of NXT, like Rosemary, Mike Satana, things like that. I think we might see those. But that's all I'm going to say. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit the like button, leave a comment below, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell. I will see you guys tomorrow for AEW results. And like I said, there's no videos for Friday. There's no videos for Saturday. I will make my return on Tuesday. Tuesday for Monday Night Raw results. That's all I'm going to say. Bye.